and tilt a little bit. So drop that SCM muscle. You don't want to lift it. Drop it again.
Oh, yeah.
So I have Alison here today. Alison, what do you want to work on?
I have some lower back on the left side and my shoulder, that left side,
Okay.
causes some issues.
How long has the shoulder been bothering you?
Maybe 6 months or so.
Okay.
Yeah,
Can you bring it all the way up?
I think so.
Good. How about this side?
This side.
Yeah. So what motion hurts? Does it hurt bringing it behind you? Does it hurt?
I teach cycling and I think I lean on it and it causes some spasms on that
So turn around.
shoulder.
So it's not so much this little socket joint
Yeah.
as much as this
That
shoulder
part.
blade
Yeah.
part.
Mhm.
Okay. So I feel a lot of stuff in here.
Yeah.
So I'm feeling trigger points and spasms. And I also think you have a rib out. So I can do that really nice. And then the lower back, is it left side also?
Yep, left
So
side.
do you notice it like touching your toes right now? Like here, go try it. Back up a little bit so we have room. Touch your toes. Will you feel tightness in that direction?
I feel it, yeah, along this side.
Okay. And is there any direction or activity that you notice it every day? Like if I get dressed or put on my shoes or
So I'm training for a marathon.
Mhm.
During the run, I'm fine. It's afterwards that I start to feel that pain.
So I work with a lot of people that run the New York City Marathon, and around this time of year they start trickling in, and definitely by September they're coming in more. The New York City Marathon's always the first Sunday in November, right?
Yep.
So you might want to do a few visits with me as you get closer if you feel like it's interfering with your run and you need some balance. Here, wait there. I'll show you something. So a lot of times when the lower back is out, the pelvis is doing something kind of like this, where it's tilted. And to go run a 10-mile, part of your training, you don't run 26 miles every time you go out, 26.2 miles, but you might do your 8-mile run and your 10-mile run on Sunday and then your 13-mile run. And if you're running on an imbalanced pelvis, it really takes its wear and tear somewhere. Either your feet, your knees, your hips, your lower back, or something's going to start hurting. So that's something I can balance for you, and it takes a little maintenance, especially if you're doing a lot of mileage. But I'm going to have you lie face up for a minute, okay? So you're going to be on your back.
Head over here.
Yeah, so your head's going to be right next to me, face up. And I'm going to just kind of look at your neck. I'm going to first push in a few times like this and just see how it's gliding. A lot of times the upper cervical is related to shoulder function. And like I feel something right under the skull here. Do you feel this right in there? So I'm going to come into, this is C1 occiput area. And I'm going to just come in and tilt a little bit. So drop that SCM muscle. You don't want to lift it. Drop it again.
Oh, yeah.
So I know it makes a scary noise, but it feels good too, doesn't it? You can breathe. Nice, right? Move closer to me. I'm going to work on that shoulder blade next, okay? I'm going to bend this arm. I'm going to put my hand in here. Let this touch here lightly. So I grab here. My pinky's actually supporting a little bit on the clavicle, collarbone. I'm going to drag you across like this, sneak my hand underneath. Just adjust that. There's more to this. So now I'm going to have you move closer to me. I'm going to reach under. Look this way with your face, all the way that way.
Oh, yeah.
Good. Keep looking that way. Did you feel those?
Yeah.
Good. So come stand up. Let's see what that feels like, and then we're going to do part 2, okay? So how does your neck feel so far?
That feels much more relaxed, less.
Good. And now move that shoulder around, the one that we just popped back in a little bit. Now that needs a little work, but one of the things that you should do, especially if you're a cycle teacher, like cycling class teacher, is you want to stretch the pec minor and the pec, especially the pec minor. So when you get into these doorway stretches, you're not just seeing how far your shoulder goes behind you. As a matter of fact, you want to control that, and you're mostly pushing the rib cage forward, trying to get this area right here to stretch. So put your arm up here for a second, and you would step with the opposite leg and head away, and I'm gonna pull this rib cage forward, and we're stretching right in there. So push, push, push. Do that without me. Push that armpit right at my face. Push. Do you feel that stretch?
Mm-hmm.
So this stretch will actually help the scapula area, the rhomboids, and especially as a spin teacher, here, let go now. And you can look that up on YouTube. It's called the doorway stretch. But like anytime you're in this position cycling, you're pushing those shoulder blades. So we need to stretch this to counter the abuse the back part gets.
Yeah.
And if you start, especially because I just adjusted you really work on stretching both sides, you find that you're gonna be able to manage that back much easier.
Okay.
So now you're gonna lie on your side facing me. And we're gonna look at that left lower back like you asked about, okay? So bend the top knee. This stays like this. Hold my hand. I'm gonna pull you off your shoulder. And this is a stretch you've seen before, but we're gonna partner on this one, okay? You might hear a little pop. So I'm gonna bend the knee down towards me like this.
Oh, yeah.
That was pretty good, right? Did you hear it pop?
I did.
Come this way. Move closer to the edge here. I'm going to put my hand through like this, okay?
Oh, yeah.
You heard that one, right? A little more. Lie on your back. Coming down this way. I'm going to just make sure your hips. See, look at this. Come over here and shoot this way. So this foot turns nicely. This one doesn't turn all the way. They should be even. So this one is jammed. Even. Good. Come stand. See how you feel. And try to touch your toes again. See if it's a little looser.
Oh, yeah. I can go.
You can put your palms down now.
Yeah. Yeah, before I was right around here, so now.
Great. So if someone comes in for a visit, it's a longer session. Usually we have little stations and you get some hypervolt and you roll on the tables with the foam roller table and we do all sorts of stuff and you get a full treatment.
Yeah.
But today I wanted to give you a little sampling of this.
Yeah, that's
All right.
great.
Cool.
That's great.
Thank
Thank you.
you.